Hello and welcome to the Horror Boys. I am Steven Steinbacher. Today I'm joined by my co-host Tanner, and we have a very special guest today, Len Kabasinski. Len, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic. First off, thanks for having me. It's an honor. I love interacting with everybody and the fans and everything, viewers. What made you think of me to come on your program?
Well, honestly, I hit up a couple people on Twitter, only 3 or 4, and I'd seen you tweet, and I loved your appearances on Red Letter Media, so I thought, hey, I'll hit him up, and you were the only person who responded, and you responded like the next morning. I was amazed. I sent a screenshot to Tanner, and he was like, holy shit, we have to do it. So,
well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
We're so happy to have you.
And we're also just both big fans of Swamp Zombies, which for me was actually a pretty recent watch, so I'm definitely very excited to talk to you.
Oh, well, I'm asking the questions in this podcast now, dude, because did you watch the new version or the original, like, really long, boring version?
I wish I had have seen the 2-hour version, but I did see the 1.5-hour version.
You did? Oh, excellent. All right, good. I basically...
Oh, that's the one you prefer.
I do. I cut that myself when I got the rights back to it. So.
Oh, okay.
And it was chopping a lot of people just walking out of buildings, and, you know, I really wanted you to see this person walk 30 feet doing fucking nothing. So all that stuff was cut out of the movie. And yeah, I really think it's like 86 minutes or something, but yeah. I think that version just flows better because we just cut out a bunch of dumb shit like that.
That's great. Yeah, it's very well paced, I would say. You know just how long your movies need to be, I think.
I'm getting better at it. There's always stuff you want to cut and adjust. I think pacing is something I've gotten better at through the years. Going back, it was actually pretty easy to chop a bunch of dumb stuff out of Swamp Zombies 1. And I think when you look back at it, I mean, that movie was shot in 2004, man. So it's old. So that was shot on the old Canon GL2. Yeah.
That was before our time.
Yeah, it was before your time, and it probably should have been before my time, but I decided to jump into it and do it, and it's still, I still own the camera. It's if I was going to go record a kid's soccer game or something like that, it's probably still a pretty decent camera, but not to film a movie, because there's, no 24p is, without that, it's a death sentence for filming any, film-like things. But back then, fuck it, I grabbed the best camera I could and made a movie called Swamp Zombies, and called up some agents of people of this and that, and got to a porn star, a wrestler, a UFC Hall of Famer, got all these people, and they were all awesome. I gotta say, it was I missed the production of it, to be honest, the first one, because when I think back about Swamp Zombies, I don't think it would become this crazy, weird micro indie cult movie. I was just thinking about everybody having so much fun doing it, and we had a lot of people, a lot of cast members that were like sad to see the production end because they had so much fun. Particularly the female ranger Anna in the movie.
She's great. Why isn't she in your other movies?
She moved away. I think she moved to Florida shortly afterwards. Yeah. Monica was her name, and she was a legit martial artist and stuff too. And
her fight scene's my favorite in that movie. I think
it might be my favorite in the movie. So Monica was great, and legit martial artist. I believe in Taekwondo, and Monica was great. But Monica moved away, and I think retired, or her husband retired, and they moved, and that was that. But she had a good time filming, and I just remember people smiling and laughing and having fun with the movie. So and back then, that's what it was meant to be. I mean, I had a plan with that movie. I mean, you don't try to book a adult film star and a WWE wrestler at the time without thinking you want to put eyeballs on your movie. You know what I mean? And I learned that from kind of my mentor, Chris Watson, who directed a movie called Zombiegeddon. And
I haven't heard of that one.
Zombiegeddon, it's got a who's who list of micro indie actors and stuff from anything from Brink Stevens to Tom Savini to Ron
Savini?
Oh yeah, Tom
I'll watch it now. That's all I need.
Tom Savini's in it. He was on set for an hour or two. Lloyd Kaufman. Robert Zadar. That's how Rob Zadar is the one who got R.I.P. buddy. We miss you.
We just watched Maniac Cop. It's so great.
Yeah, Maniac Cop is wonderful. And actually, a quick tangent about Maniac Cop is I met Bruce Campbell out at a Fangoria horror convention one time, and he was speaking and doing autographs and that kind of shit. And everybody was taking him, of course, Evil Dead stuff. Well, when I went up to his signing, I had him sign my Maniac Cop poster. So it took him back a bit. So something different. But But yeah, back to Swamp Zombies. Yeah, they were all great. Dan Severn was a super nice man, and you could tell with him, Dan, and we would have worked together again too, but Dan's just a busy guy. I mean, he runs his own sports camp. He's always doing seminars. I mean, he's all over the world. Our schedules just never matched up. He was going to be in Fist of the Vampire as like a champion underground fist fighter kind of character, and it just scheduling, it was just a nightmare trying to match everything up. But Dan Severn was super awesome.
Mm-hmm. He kills it in that too. I love him. He's the police chief, right?
Yeah. His scenes where he has a big fight scene where he fights a bunch of zombies. Some of that was extended, and we actually went out to Michigan. We shot the scene in Erie first, or outside of Erie, Pennsylvania area, which is like maybe 4 or 5 hours from where Dan lives in Michigan, and. I just felt he didn't beat up enough people in it. The original one had him beat up 3 or 4 people, and I said, Dan, if you got woods by your house or somewhere accessible, I'll come to you and I'll shoot you just beating up a bunch of people. And he's like, Len, I got my guys here. I can do this. Come out. And it was like, awesome. So we went out to his place, and it was literally in the backyard of his house. There's all this woods in acreage. So we continued it. In the scene now, you see him beat up like 10 zombies or whatever. So, but yeah, it was shot 2 different times, and one section of the swamp/woods is Erie, and the other section is in Michigan. So that makes up that scene. So yeah, good. Yeah, cool guys. Blue Meanie, I still talk to Brian once in a while, even today. Miss you, buddy. Blue Meanie's super nice guy. Blue Meanie's in it. Yeah, he's the main star.
Great.
Yeah, Blue Meanie. Awesome. He goes as Brian Heffron in it. Brian Blue Meanie Heffron. I told him I had to put the Blue Meanie on it because that's how people are going to find it in a search or whatever. So, but Brian Heffron's his name, and yeah, he's the lead star, and he came aboard because I had his girlfriend at the time was Jasmine St. Clair, the adult film star that was in the picture, and he was dating her at the time, and I was still looking for that role to fill, and Jasmine had suggested, hey, my boyfriend's Blue Meanie, and I said, well, okay, and one thing led to another, and he dyed his hair black and beard black, and next thing I know, he's my hermit character in the movie. And
his flashback is incredible.
A real friend of mine. He's a good dude.
That's awesome. Yeah, he hasn't been in anything since Warriors of the Apocalypse, right?
I know he did some A-lister things though. He did a day on the set of the Wrestler with Mickey Rourke.
Oh, that's a great movie.
He goes into the locker room, and you can see right when he goes down in the locker room in one scene, there's Blue Meanie like standing right there, and he's in full like Meanie like gear. He's got the blue hair and the raccoon makeup and stuff like that. It's all there. So yeah, he did some bit parts here and there on other stuff. He did a movie called Community College, which was a comedy. He would have done that right around Curse of the Wolf time or so. But so he's dabbled in other films, yeah. So and he's what you would think he would be. He's like a real life cartoon character, a funny nice dude. So
that's great.
Yeah, I think I've done like 11 movies now, 12 movies now. Mm-hmm. And I think I've worked with hundreds of people, dude, from extras to leads to to stars to not stars to actors to non-actors, whatever. And I think out of 11, 12 movies, there's maybe only 2 people I would like never work with again. You know what I mean?
Really?
So I've been really, really fortunate to work with some people that really buy into what you're doing, because if they don't, you're never going to get what you want out of your indie movie. I mean, nobody's going to believe in your stuff as much as you. I mean, you guys know that. You've made films. I mean, nobody's going to believe in your vision more than you do. You just try to involve people that are going to, buy in, and off we go. But also, with being fans of Swamp Zombies, there is a Swamp Zombies 2 coming out. So I am rambling on. I will let you get to questions. So
this is exactly what we want, Len. You're the star of the show.
Swamp Zombies I can write a thesis paper on, if not a few of them, from how the distribution game went to all this stuff. I mean, Swamp Zombies 1 went to cons. The fucking posters right up behind me here on my wall in my den where I'm recording this. It really got out all over the place. But then years, a couple years later, a few years later, I'm realizing, what, I'm not making any money off of this picture. And it's everywhere. You know what I mean? So. And then I learned the cruel world of micro indie releasing. So And now going forward, and we can talk about it later or whatever, I had stuff like my Patreon campaign and stuff, and when everybody's telling me what's the best way to support, we want to support you and not a middleman or something, Len, and I love it when people ask me that, because I know those are the people that are watching stuff for me, not, because of, whatever, not because of a genre or an aspect of anything. They're watching it because Len's doing it, so, and I appreciate that. And when they ask me what the best way to support it is, it's patreon.com/KillerWolfFilms, so that goes all into, Killer Wolf Films Productions. You know what I mean? It doesn't go to pay my car or my house or anything like that. I have a day job. It's not at PetSmart, but I have a day job. I've worked as a therapist for 11 years. So, when you support the Patreon, you support bigger and better films for me. So I appreciate everybody that's joined it so far and those that will. So I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, no, well, I watched Blood Prism and
thank you.
Hellcat's Revenge today.
Awesome.
And that totally made my Patreon worth it. Blood Prism's my favorite thing you've ever done. I think it's
really?
Great.
Oh, dude, I could talk about Blood Prism for a while. Give me questions, though. You guys have to have burning questions in your pockets that you need to ask Len. So go, ask me some Blood Prism stuff, because it's by far my most different movie, probably since like Wendigo, and even that, Blood Prism is so much different from a movie like that. So,
yeah, Wendigo, I will say real quick, I think that's the first movie you made that is like 100% competent. You know what I mean? Like you elevate beyond like just pure schlock. That is just like a solid movie. If I saw it on TV, I wouldn't question it. You know what I mean?
Right on. Yeah, Wendigo, when I wrote that one too, and actually Blood Prism is a little bit like it in terms of how it came about, is I did a movie called, it was re-released as Apocalypse Female Warriors, or Warriors of the Apocalypse, if you will. The Apocalypse Female Warriors version is way better, as it was kind of redone a little bit in spots.
Wait, which one? Because I bought it on Amazon the other day to watch for this. I watched Warriors of the Apocalypse. Which one's better?
Warriors of the Apocalypse sucks. I don't like it at all.
I wasn't big on it, I'll be honest.
Yeah, Warriors of the Apocalypse I don't like at all. Apocalypse Female Warriors is basically a complete, like, almost re-edit of the movie. It just took out the pacing's better. We knocked off maybe 15, 20 minutes of the movie. We got rid of some scenes. Some of it had to be TNA scenes that just I couldn't stand. And normally I hate cutting that kind of stuff, obviously, in indie pictures, especially indie action or horror. You need the TNA, but I just hated the way it was done, and I just wanted to cut it. And I was under no pressure, so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do what I want with it and cut what I want and do what I want with it. And it got re-released as Apocalypse Female Warriors, and it's way better. And
where can I see that? Where can I get that?
Apocalypse Female Warriors it was on Amazon. It's gotta be on eBay. The cover has like 3 women that aren't in the movie, which is an old AIP pictures trick.
That's the cover on IMDb. I just figured it was a rebranding. I didn't realize there was another cut of it. So
yeah, it's not. It's pretty much like a organized trimming of the movie, if you will. Not as extensive as Swamp Zombies would have been, but some sound work was done, some digital effects were done, a couple things were done, but it's a way, way, way better movie. And when I look at it now as like a micro-budget indie, I'll put Apocalypse Female Warriors, which was shot in 2008, almost 10 years ago, to this summer, up against a lot of micro stuff shot today. And that's not patting myself on the back. I'm just saying that's how competent my crew was and stuff on that set. The fights, all that kind of stuff, I thought were pretty decent in the movie. It's just, and I'm getting to the Wendigo point here, if you bear with me. It's the point is, if you ask a lot of the cast and crew, they love Warriors of the Apocalypse or Apocalypse Female Warriors. It was their favorite movie to work on. It was all guns and fights and action scenes every 10 seconds. I was miserable on it, so I had a miserable time. It was just not the funnest movie for me to do. Darian Kane came out. I had some other people come out and kind of help me and stuff. And I appreciate everybody's hard work, but it just wasn't a good picture for me. So when post-production editing got delayed on it, stuff like that, and that, I mean, is a death sentence almost for micro indies. I mean, speed is important, you know? And the thing, too, is back then, 2008, there's not a lot of people really educated in micro budget indie stuff. I mean, really. I mean, if you're a working editor and you went to edit micro indie stuff and charge somebody like $7,000, you're out of your fucking mind. You know, this person's gonna, if they pay you that, they will bankrupt themselves and never shoot another picture. You know what I mean? That's impossible. And I think that's what the one editor of the picture that was going to do it, I think, and he was a cool guy and all, nice guy, a very nice man, but I think he thought maybe dollar signs were dancing above his head there, and I'm like, dude, what? There's no way. I mean, and he never came out and said that, but I got the strong vibe that he was thinking, you know, this is an editing gig that's going to pay you $5,000 to $8,000. Well, I'll never make that back. You know what I mean? On pictures like this. So yeah, it sat for a few months. I just had a miserable time on it. I like the Apocalypse Female Warriors version that Chris Young, who actually edited Hellcat's Revenge, and he also edited Angel of Reckoning. He went through.
Those are pretty slick, so that makes sense.
Yeah, he went through and redone it, and it's much better. So yeah, check out Apocalypse Female Warriors. I think you'll notice a huge difference. I mean, a big difference. But yeah, I wanted to get the taste out of my mouth of that movie as quick as possible. So literally, we got done filming that in like August or maybe September of 2008. By 2009, January, in the dead of winter, in negative 10-degree weather, I decided we're going to go shoot Wendigo, because I need to do something to get the taste of that production out of my mouth. So
nice.
We shot Wendigo at a Boy Scout camp. We all lived there in hardly any heat. The showers were either scalding hot or freezing. There was no middle ground. The heaters busted there. We were all living in some giant room together with one little space heater and stuff. So it was a roughing it experience. But so we actually lived in these like Boy Scout cabins for, I don't know, 5 days, something like that, 4 or 5 days. But that got the picture done. And I knew going into it too that I wasn't going to have time to produce some elaborate sets or 50 different locations. So, I mean, I wrote Wendigo knowing that I was only going to use so many locations and things like that. So, and it worked out, I mean, for what it was. I wish I could go back and shoot it in HD, because that was not shot in HD. That was...
I still think it looks good. I think it looks solid.
It was one of the last films, if not the last movie I shot, because I think Ninja Prophecy of Death I might have shot on the Canon HV40. But it was shot on the Panasonic DVX100A, the Wendigo was. So yeah, there's some stuff I go back photography-wise and would have done differently and stuff like that. But going forward, yeah, Wendigo came about just because I wanted to get the taste of Warriors out of my mouth. And linking it to Blood Prism, it was similar, that I had shot Hellcat's Revenge. And but that was great. Hellcats was a ton of fun. I could talk about Hellcats for weeks on end. But Hellcats ended in the summertime, and for whatever reason, Chris, who Young, the editor of that film, and who also was on set, you know, helping out and stuff, he had said, Len, out of the blue, he called me one time. I remember the conversation like it was yesterday. I was driving in my car, and he calls me, and I'm like, hey, what's up? And he's like, hey, what? Do you have any scripts we could like produce now? And I'm like, dude. I was like, well, I don't have a script yet, but I've got this story of a serial killer that hears voices, that is killing people that are depressed or hopeless in her mind. And I said, I don't have the script, but I've got the skeletal like notes for it. I could get this script done in like a month. And I did, and next thing I know, 2 months later, we're filming Blood Prism. Alicia Seguin, my wife at the time, is the lead actress in the film.
She's great. She is so unnerving. There's just something off about that performance.
And that is a lot of work on her behalf that she researched, because we really wanted the character to have a very Aspergery tone, where she didn't really understand human relationships and those kinds of things. Almost an autism spectrum kind of thing going on, without making it, you know, oh God, Len thinks autistic people kill people. No, I have an autistic son, so please, you know what I mean? Lighten up. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's people need to lighten the fuck up. You know, if I have a zombie bikini girl in my kitchen as a slave in a movie, I'm not advocating chauvinistic behavior, or no, I just think it's, lighten up, people.
But beyond that, she's delusional, and she's like kind of falling into this cult that another character is at the same time, right? So it's not even, that argument wouldn't even work.
Right. But Alicia researched a lot of that stuff. A lot of the dialogue was written by her. And then
I saw her name on the credits.
Yeah, she did a lot of dialogue writing, and then a couple scenes she chimed in about stuff, but most of like scene to scene to scene to scene, I basically wrote like the screenplay was written by me, and then a lot of the dialogue she did, and then I just touched it up here and there. But I think it's probably, you know what, I'm not going to say probably, it is my favorite performance in any of my films, really. I think Alicia did really great in it with a challenging, different character, and I'd probably say runner-up to it would probably be KK Ryder's character as a demon in a movie I did a while back called Ninja Prophecy of Death, where she plays like a
demon is that?
She plays like a ninja cult leader. She's got geisha girl makeup on and stuff like that. Her performance.
Yeah, I watched that recently too.
Oh, very good, very good. I watched Ninja. One of my friends was over and put it on, and I usually don't watch my stuff, but if they're, I'll sit down and have a drink and bullshit with them while they watch my stuff, and they were watching Ninja, and yeah, you know, looking back, I think the fights are pretty decent in that movie. I like a lot of the action in that movie to this day, and that's a movie too that was shot 7 years ago, something like that. So I still got some love for that movie. But that was
I think it's really solid. I like the look of it a lot because you shot so much of it in low light, but it captures that just digital noise in a really interesting way.
Yeah, and you know, that too, when people think, well, Len doesn't know what he's doing, he shoots this stuff without a lighting kit. No, I had a lighting kit. I have a boom mic. I've got a lighting kit. I have all that stuff. I mean, it was intentional that I did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I can tell on that one for sure. Curse of the Wolf maybe is a little too dark for my tastes, but that one I think looks great.
Some of it in Curse too, though. Some of it was we were sucky at what we were doing, but some of it too, though, we had some of that equipment and stuff, and then some of it too came from just a really shitty transfer from the distribution company.
Is that what it is? I couldn't tell.
Oh yeah. The transfer's bad, and they put it on a lot of those multi-pack. It's on millions of like multi-pack 8-pack DVD movies and stuff. Hell, Curse of the Wolf was made in 2006, and it just came out on another multi-pack called Snow Creatures or something. Somebody it sent it to my Twitter and showed me a picture. Len, Curse of the Wolf is on this Snow Beast multi-pack, and I thought, man, please, it's gonna suck. It's gonna be such a shitty transfer. The song will be on it. You'll get to hear the Curse of the Wolf song. It's all there, but it's going to be a shitty-ass transfer. So I apologize, but it's not my fault. So
are we ever going to see these in Blu-ray? Because I posted a couple of questions online, like, hey, do you guys have any questions for Len Kabasinski? Everybody wants to see your stuff in Blu-ray. Is that going to happen?
All right. Yeah. Yes, it will.
Okay.
And I think sooner than later. I've been waiting because I do have a produced Blu-ray for Blood Prism, which is probably my number one movie. If I had to pick one movie I did to put on Blu-ray, it's definitely Blood Prism, because I worked my fucking ass off on those color schemes for that movie. I mean, some of those shots took us an hour to set up. I mean, my crew, Chris and Matt Smith, they're probably ready to strangle me, because I'm like, I need that door in the background red with no light seeping into it. I need the wall right next to it yellow without any color seeping into it. And I need the actress in front to be completely blue with no color except a white little kicker light off the side of her face. And we accomplished it, but I mean, it's stuff, it's work, man. You know, it's fucking making movies, dude. It's not easy. So,
no.
You know.
Can we talk about the technical aspects on that for a minute? Did you actually shoot it anamorphic, or was that cropped?
No, shot anamorphic.
Really? Okay, what do you do for that? Because I'm in the market to shoot anamorphic, but I just don't know how to go on that.
You know, it's one of those things, too. It's going to depend on, you know, your editor, your editing program, all that crap. I mean, that was shot on the G20.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of fucking around with stuff.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Would you recommend a lens adapter, or should I? I can't find affordable lenses. You know,
on the G20 you can't do that. You'd have to go to like a C100 camera or whatever, and that's what we shot Swamp Zombies 2 on. Is that
okay?
So with I don't do any of the editing stuff. That's I quit. All I do is edit my Patreon videos and things like that. I just use a simple program. But for what Jacob Studebaker, who edited Blood Prism, I think he probably converted something in post or something. So I don't know if you're getting a true, you know, anamorphic thing on it. But he maybe ran it through something. But I'm trying to think of, I don't know what program he used. I'm sure it was something like Premiere or something, but Jacob could answer that question much, much better. So Jacob, dude, if you're listening, answer that question for them, man.
So we did go through Reddit asking the Red Letter Media subreddit questions they wanted to ask you.
Sure.
We were wondering what your favorite non-horror, non-martial arts film is.
Oh,
is one of them.
My favorite movie of all time? Legit, my favorite movie of all time is What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Is my all-time number one favorite movie. I think the performance, I think the Academy stiffed and was they stiffed DiCaprio there. I thought he won it in a landslide performance, but he was a very young man at the time.
Did he even get nominated?
I think he was nominated and didn't win.
Okay.
But it reminded me, and I'm probably a little bit older than you guys, but it reminded me, and I was just a small child at the time, but looking back upon it, in '75 Spielberg does Jaws, and he gets stiffed by the Academy, and there's absolutely no way. I'm not a big Spielberg fanboy or anything, but there's no way he shouldn't have won. But I think, again, he was a very young man at the time as a director. I don't even know if Spielberg was 30 years old yet. I think he was like 28 or 29 when he did Jaws. So, yeah, it was one of those good old boys network kind of feeling things, and I thought, man, you got stiffed. But Spielberg, I think, did for Jaws, but DiCaprio certainly did on What's Eating Gilbert Grape. He plays an autistic young man named Arnie, and it is a absolute bulldozer performance. I mean, he's wonderful. And I was never a Johnny Depp fan. I was not a 21 Jump Street fan or anything like that. But What's Eating Gilbert Grape made me I could not like Johnny Depp anymore. So
he's so natural in it.
Yeah, I gained a lot of respect. And then my life has mirrored Gilbert's a lot at times. So it's a very, I wouldn't make it through without crying at some point or whatever. Just it's just you feel those personal connections to film, and that's when filmmaking's great. I mean, sometimes I want to sit back and I want to watch Hybrid that Fred Olen Ray directs and Brink Stevens is running around naked or whatever. I love those movies, but sometimes I do want to feel that personal connection to a piece of art, and Gilbert Grape is art. So my all-time legit favorite movie of all time is What's Eating Gilbert Grape, and there's no fight scenes, there's no nothing. I think autism is portrayed really true and feels very real in that movie. I know because my son's that, and I see a lot of my Arnie in my son, and by far that's my favorite movie. If I had to pick some that, more of what you would expect Len to like in his top movies, Dead Heat is way up there for me. The 1988 movie with Treat Williams and Joe Piscopo. It is definitely in my top 6 or 7 probably favorite movies of all time. It's a comedy, it's a horror, it has the special effects of a horror movie, it's a comedy, it's an action movie, it's all over the place, but it's absolutely wonderful with a knockout cast. So if you want to see a popcorn Saturday night, grab your black velvet and popcorn and watch a crazy movie, Dead Heat is for you. I definitely try to mention that. I did my Fist of the Filmmaker podcast I do for Patreon. I did recently, and I do a Forgotten Movie Den thing, and Dead Heat I picked I think last month for one of my forgotten movies, and with Dead Heat it was if I could do like Paul Rudd has these interviews on Conan O'Brien.
Yeah, I heard you saying this. I was hoping we could try it.
Here's a clip from Swamp Zombies 2, and then it's Treat Williams flying off the motorcycle stunt from Dead Heat. So I love it, but yeah, a lot of those. Jaws is really high on my list, and it's not for like great white shark action or whatever. I mean, that's fine in it and stuff, but I think the character interactions and writing in Jaws are top shelf. So Jaws is high up on my list. Those kind of things. If people wanted to get into more martial arts stuff, that's a long conversation with me, man. So
yeah, well, we were actually wondering, apart from your films, I don't think either of us have encountered like martial arts films in the last decade, and we were wondering if you had any recommendations down that path.
Yeah, I mean, there's a movie called Die Fighting, which I think is a UK movie, but it was released as, I'm pretty sure it's called Die Fighting. It's on DVD and stuff. The fight scenes are pretty well done. They're crazy action, almost Hong Kong-ish, if you will, fight scenes. So Die Fighting would be something watchable. Is it going to be like your favorite movie or something? No. but it's a martial art movie. You know, at least we can say that. There was a movie like Tekken after the video game where Gary Daniels I think is in it.
There's a Tekken movie?
Yeah, there's a Tekken movie. Yeah, it's watchable. Dwight H. Little directs it. He's a pretty good director. He did Marked for Death with Steven Seagal, I believe, which is a pretty cool movie.
Yeah.
So Tekken's worth watching. Again, none of these movies are going to be like mind-blowingly altering martial arts movies for you guys, but at least it's something. But
nothing's going to be Swamp Zombies.
wait till you see Swamp Zombies 2. So
I can't wait.
Oh, okay.
We're covering it for sure. Like, there's no way we won't be.
Yeah, it literally Scott Montague, the post-production coordinator and the editor, he literally sent me the first 3 minutes of the movie today, and I'm not going to give anything away, but I'm telling you, when you think you know me, I change the question. So that's a Roddy Piper quote there. So another man, R.I.P. buddy. But just when you think you know me, I change the question, and I think Swamp Zombies 2 might just surprise a few people. But I absolutely guarantee you, I know what you are expecting when you watch a movie called Swamp Zombies. So trust me, the stuff you expect in it is probably in it. So
is there going to be martial arts? Because I feel like you've backed off a little bit on your more recent movies. We're going to get some good fights, right?
Yes, there's fight scenes. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely, there's fight scenes. So it's not an all-out martial art movie.
Worried.
But it's funny you say that. Swamp Zombies 2 is not an all-out martial art movie, but there's fights. There's definitely fights consistently in the movie. However, with the way things have gone lately for me, it was time for me to write my first all-out martial art kung fu movie. And that is what I'm filming next. It starts filming.
Hell yeah!
It starts filming in late July, maybe early August. We'll see how the producing and stuff goes on it. But it's definitely filming mid to late summer here. It's called Challenge of Five Gauntlets. It is my my love letter to 70s martial arts movies. It's very Shaw Brothers like, but it is an all out. Kung fu movie. It's an all-out karate picture. It's all-out, martial arts. So it is.
That's dope.
Yeah, if you need any extras.
and most of it's written and basically the story involves a young girl or a young boy. We haven't decided what we're going to cast there yet, but a young child, if you will, is gravely ill. And their family has exhausted all their medical options, basically, and the child's going to die. Well, the father is going through all this stuff and research and trying to, scratch and claw up anything, dig up any kind of information he can. Well, he comes across Buddha's tooth, which is like a supernatural legend that if you possess it, you have like healing powers. You're not sick anymore, that kind of thing. So he tries to hire a relic historian to go get the tooth. So. In doing so, to get the tooth, unfortunately, it is protected by a gauntlet of 5 warriors that he has to go through. So to get to it. So it is an all-out martial art picture. So I think for those waiting for that, I've been waiting my whole life to do it. I will probably die during training for it. So I try to stay in shape year-round, so I'm close. But still, I'll be doing my dieting and bodybuilding type routine type stuff going into it. But it'll be my first all-out fight movie.
Awesome. That's great. I can't wait.
Yeah, that's Challenge of Five Gauntlets.
How great you look, Len. We had another question from Reddit, was how do you get your hair like that? Because the Redditor has had subpar results growing his hair long.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that.
But he wondered how you make yours look so good.
Well, thank you. It is like plant-based, like biotin shampoos. I would even run upstairs and go see what I use, but I change it once in a while, but usually it's always like biotin shampoos. But let me tell you, brother, it's only hair, man, and if it falls out, it doesn't matter. Work out, have a rockin' body, and it's going to be fine, dude. Hair comes and goes, whatever, but treat your body good, and don't worry about your hair, man, but use biotin shit, dude.
That's good to hear, because I very well might go bald in the next few years.
Oh, no.
I kind of had a widow's peak forever, and I think I'm going to lose my hair, but yet my mom had one, my sister has one, that kind of thing. I think I'll be stuck in widow's peak-ish land for a while, and I'm okay with that. But
hell, maybe I'll be in the same boat. I hope that's the case.
I'll turn you on to a lot of products, dude. So message me on Twitter and say, Len, what exactly do you use, and I'll type it out and stuff, and I'll get you some names, and we'll hook
All right,
I'm
sure Reddit will appreciate that too.
Definitely,
I know that was a pressing
biotin's the key.
on there.
You've got to use somebody like me has thin hair, and it's just you got to use thickening products like biotin stuff.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Len, I have a question about Angel of Reckoning.
Absolutely.
So the scenes where the lead is just like staring into the camera really slowly, and you have those haunting zoom-ins.
Yep.
Were those inspired by The Guest at all, or is that just coincidence?
Nope, just coincidence.
Okay. Have you seen that?
Nope.
It's good. You should check it out.
What? A newer movie, an older movie?
Yeah, 2014. It's by Adam Wingard and Simon Barrett. They did You're Next.
Okay.
It's good. It's like did you ever see Silent Rage?
The Chuck Norris movie?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love that movie.
Okay, it's kind of like that, except if that guy ran off and met up with a random family.
Okay. My interest is piqued. I will definitely...
Okay. If you watch it, let me know what you think, because it's pretty great.
I am an Amazon Prime junkie, so if it's on there somewhere, I will definitely watch it. So
on Amazon Prime, I was going to ask you about this too. Brawl in Cell Block 99. Did you hear about that?
Yes, I watched it. I thought it was good. I liken that movie to one that was made, I'm horrible on timeline shit, but I'm going to say 7 years ago maybe, called Hobo with a Shotgun.
Okay, I love that one.
It reminds me of the fandom for that movie kind of thing where,
Okay.
I did not think Hobo was great. I thought, but here's the thing. I'll go off on a tangent for like 30 seconds here. I bought in and went and saw a movie called The Quiet Place. And I came out of it, and I thought, it was okay. I didn't think it was great, but I didn't think it didn't suck. I thought it was okay. Yeah. And I told people, oh, it's okay. And they're like, well, we're sorry you didn't like it, Len. Well, I didn't say I didn't like it. I said it was it was okay. And then the internet's going to implode because I said it felt like a children's version of The Road mixed with like a Nickelodeon scary movie or something. That's what
I see that. Yeah.
It felt like a Nickelodeon movie to me, like a Goosebumps episode mixed with like a children's version of The Road.
It's kind of dumb, isn't it? It's watchable, but it's not.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I thought it was watchable, but that's it. I'm
tense. It's fun, but it's not great.
Yeah, I thought the creature design was stupid. I really thought the alien thing or whatever you want to call it was just dumb. I didn't think the design was very good. No offense to those guys, but it didn't work for me. I would have rather had a much. I am an '80s kid, so I like guy in a monster suit running around killing people. I'm not a big digital fan. But anyways, that's my tangent. And I liken that to Cell Block 99. I thought it was good.
Sure.
I thought, what's his name?
Vince Vaughn?
Yeah, Vince Vaughn I thought was excellent in it. I thought it was a daring choice for him, who obviously his career is probably not exactly where he wants it to be right now, but, whatever. That's another one. I thought it was really good. But I thought too there was places where the writing was, I didn't hate the ending of it. I was fine with that. I just thought it was, it was definitely watchable, worth watching. Is it something I'd really watch again on my own? Probably not.
I just bought the Blu-ray. I love it, but I get where you're coming from. It's a little too slow. I'll give it that.
But if you pitted that against Hobo, I would pick to watch Cell Block over Hobo with a Shotgun. I thought Hobo was okay, but then I thought it got a little nutty for its own good when you get like octopus creatures coming out of walls and shit like that. I thought this is dumb.
The plague,
it was a poor choice by the filmmakers there. But I mean, who am I to say that? You know what I mean? But
the director of Fist of the Vampire thinks Hobo with a Shotgun was a little too nutty.
It was a little too nutty. Yeah. Yep.
That's great. No, I get where you're coming from.
I'm a fan and a viewer too. You know what I mean? That's what people got to realize about me. I'm a fan and a viewer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get where you're coming
from. I watch Best of the Worst. That's my favorite program Red Letter Media does. I'm a fan just like anybody else. And that when I say that, I'm saying right now, everybody, make sure you check out Black Cougar's website. Go check it out. Well worth it.
I actually haven't done that. I should.
You should check out
Speaking of
blackcougar.com.
Best of the Worst, when are you going to be in Milwaukee again?
They usually call me. I don't. It's hard for me to gauge their fans sometimes because usually I get a positive response, but overall I'm sure there's other people that can't stand me or whatever, and that happens. I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? But for those people too, they got to realize, hey man, I'm just a guest. I disappear. You know what I mean? I'm there. I do an episode or two. I'm gone. It's back to your regularly scheduled people. You know what I mean? If you hate Len, relax. Len's a gimmick. Len's a gimmick. Now I realized after the last Best of the Worst, I'm a fucking gimmick to people. So, but that's okay. If the fans have it and are having fun with it, I'm cool with it. So. You know, Mike usually just contacts me and that's that, and I end up going out there and there you go. I usually end up filming. I'm in a mask I can't fucking see out of, or I'm choreographing scenes as a horseman, or a horse ninja man. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and those guys are really hard-working dudes for their fans. And if the fans think like somebody like Mike says, I don't even know if I should say this, so sorry, but I'm going to. If fans think that Mike doesn't love these kind of movies like Best of the Worst, yes, he does. We love this stuff, and I do too. I mean, Blood Street they just did. When I was there last time, Jay burned me a copy of Blood Street because I saw Blood Street sitting on there. They get tons of VHS submissions and stuff, and I saw Blood Street sitting there, and I'm like, oh my god, you got Blood Street? That's a Leo Fong movie. And Jay's like, hey, I'll just burn you a copy, Len. And I'm like, yes, and he did. So, and then I saw they just had it on. So, and Leo Fong is still alive. He's like 90. So, go him.
Yeah.
But
Tanner mailed them one.
What's that?
Yeah, I did. I mailed them a DVD that I hope they watch at some point.
See, if only you knew me. People think I have so much pull that I could have packaged it with like Blood Prism or whatever and sent it out to them.
Well, but I mean, I think it's weird that any fans would be upset at you being a guest. I don't.
Well, you know, some of them don't like me for. You know, some of them don't like me. They're like, "Why are you glorifying another hack or whatever?" And it's like, you know, dude, okay, I'm gone after this episode. Just relive a past episode and then come in next month, and I won't be there. So, you know, people gotta chill.
Yeah. You have the best attitude, though. I don't see how anyone could. I don't know, like, after they just destroyed Skull Forest and you came on, you're just the cheeriest guy, so self-aware, you know? Like, how could anyone hate that? I don't get it.
You know, I don't know, but I attribute my attitude and stuff to martial arts. I've done martial arts my whole life. I have seen relationships come and go and people come and go in and out of my life, but the one rock in my life, you know, besides my mom who passed away several years ago, the one really rock in my life that is always there for me and loves me and I love it is martial arts. And my life is when my life is good, martial arts makes it better. When my life is bad, martial arts makes it better. So you know, I attribute all of that to that. I take everything as a learning opportunity, whether people hate me or love me. Regardless, I treat everybody the same. I don't care if you're a boss that lives in a high rise on the 8th floor and is some bigwig, or you're a bum off the street. I will talk to you the same. I will treat you the same. And you know, fuck what people say about you, because when you're I don't feel you can go wrong when you just present yourself as yourself to people. When I started in micro indie, you know, years ago now, I mean, Swamp Zombies was 2004, and you know, shortly after that, people are like, you know, and I, you know, a lot of wrestlers are associating with me, that kind of thing. They're like, Len, you know, you gotta create this persona for yourself. So, you know, in the beginning, you know, I come across is this brash guy and stuff like that to fans and stuff like that, trying to put on like a character, or you know, like I'm cutting promos and things like that. But it really wasn't me. And then once I realized I'm really not making any money at this, I'm just kind of doing my own thing, and I'm trying to create this persona or character, and I thought, you know, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm just going to be myself from here on out, you know, when I do interviews or when I do things, or, you know, and it was very freeing to do that. And I think when Red Letter Media came along, I had already been well into that phase where I dropped any kind of, you know, character or anything like that. And I just said, fuck it, I'm going to be myself from here on out, and that way I know who's ever along for the ride with my films loves me for me, and that's good.
That's great. Did Red Letter Media lead to a spike in viewership for you at all, or did you always have that fan base there?
Well, I will say this. Yeah, it certainly helped for sure. But what I was surprised about was, the number of people who already knew me, going out there. Here, I didn't think anybody saw my stuff or whatever, but, I do that, and they're like, oh, we know Len, or we saw this, or we saw this. Everybody's seen Swamp Zombies, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I was surprised, but yeah, absolutely, they've definitely increased it. I'm on Reddit once in a while. I try to chime in when I can, and I did an Ask Me Anything maybe, I don't know, a month ago or so that kind of blew up, and even the moderator was like, this is one of the best AMAs we've ever had, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's cool, man, That's great. Because I like interacting with people because I want them to really feel like they know me when they watch a Len movie. They know this isn't some fake thing, that Len really loves this stuff. And I do, and I love these kind of movies.
I mean, you have to. You've made so many. I mean, you just keep going and going, and I imagine you're not making a ton of money off of them,
No, I mean, basically, though, I'm at the point now where I can pretty much, fund the next picture or pay. Put it this way, I've made 11 movies, and I don't have a dime of debt. Put it that way.
Wow.
Now,
that's awesome.
Granted, I don't live in a mansion or anything like that, but I mean, I own a home, but a lot of that is for my day job stuff. But I don't own credit cards. If I don't have cash, I don't need it, kind of thing. So I live pretty simply when it comes to that kind of stuff, but I don't owe a dime to moviedom. I'm at the point now where at least royalties will generally kind of, and again, this is budgeting on my part as well, is I know, I'm going to make X amount back from Angel, so I know I can take that into the next picture, and I can offer my editor this amount or this amount or this amount, and it's not going to put me out anything personally. The movies are basically paying for the movies, kind of thing. Right. So in terms of a business where Killer Wolf Films is my sole proprietorship, it's it basically breaks even at the end of the year. So I'm not gaining, but I'm not really losing anything. And if I do, I usually lose a grand or two. But to do what I love, I'm willing to do that now. So.
Do you mind me asking, what's the budget on a Blood Prism?
Blood Prism?
Yeah.
Blood Prism's budget was probably including editing or discluding editing?
Give me both.
I would say including editing, the budget probably was maybe $3,000, maybe a little less.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
You have so many sets. In all your movies,
I've had lots of practice. I've had lots of practice, so thank you. It's $3,000 without editing. We shot the whole thing for about $1,000.
That's insane. I mean, I know you have your crew, but still, just the amount of effects you have, the lighting.
Yeah,
I mean that's.
Yeah, well, the lighting I already owned.
Did you already have all the gels and stuff? Because I feel like you weren't using colors that strong before.
Oh no, I was. I just got better at what I was doing. Yeah. Cool. I had, I think, 3 soft boxes. I had basically your gambit of gel colors and stuff, but primarily the gels I use the most in a picture like that is, and this is stuff people think Len's just a numbnut and doesn't think about these things, but I do. I mean, I have color schemes for my scenes and stuff like that I do, and Blood Prism is very, very much,
It's gorgeous, yeah.
Thank you. I wanted Blood Prism to be kind of my Argento moment. I mean, obviously not a master filmmaker like him, but I mean, you know what I mean. He used colors as, put it this way, this is what I wanted to accomplish. I wanted you to be able to put in Prism, turn the sound off, and just watch the movie and have the lighting of the scenes be a character kind of thing, is what I was going for. Yeah. I mean, we used really in all the depth.
Would you say? Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. In all the death sequences and stuff, we went to really wild color schemes and stuff for all the death sequences in the movie to try to make it really surreal and nightmarish and stuff like that. So I'm pretty proud of the lighting we accomplished in Blood Prism. But yeah, the budget was $3,000, and then sans editing it was $1,000. But yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, the camera I owned. Let's see, the gels, all that the lighting, all that stuff I owned. Trying to think of what else. A lot of stuff I had available, and then of course too, and this was important for doing a picture so close to Hellcat's ending, is the cast was small. I mean, there's only maybe 6 principal actors, and a lot of them. John Gross, who played the douchey Oliver Art Gallery purchaser there. Yeah, he's like a legendary theater actor locally. So I mean, he knows. And I've worked with him in other stuff, but he can do it all. He's a great actor. He
was so slimy in Angel of Reckoning.
Yeah, he's Billy in Angel. Yeah. And I loved him in that too. I really thought he stole the show in that movie. But that's John Gross, one of my best friends in real life, but a legendary live theater actor around here. And Del Crotty, who played Sharon, who's the first one to get killed, who has the little girl she's the first death in Blood Prism. Spoilers, first death in Blood Prism. Again, legendary theater actor. She's always doing live theater, always cultivating her craft. I mean, Adele, John, all those guys. So, and Lisa Neld, Playboy's Lisa Neld, who I had worked with several times.
Yeah, she's in a lot of your stuff.
Yeah, and she doesn't live too far from me either. So, and actually, she has a bit in Swamp Zombies 2, and actually, her daughter makes an appearance in Swamp Zombies 2 as well. And let me tell you, talented young teenage woman there. So, another future star in the making. I was very, very impressed. So the apple isn't falling far from the tree there. But they'll all be in Swamp Zombies 2, and but that's how it came about. That's how Blood Prism came about. I used dependable actors that knew me and what I expected, and off we went.
Would you say that's the film you're fondest of, or is it just one of the most recent ones that you are proud of?
I think I'm proud of certain aspects of all the movies I've done in a way.
Mm-hmm. You have to.
They're all like children to me. I mean, they really are.
Yeah.
And when I'm sitting 10 feet away from some of my DVD collection, and if you don't know what Humanoids from the Deep is, or Circle of Iron, or Ravenous, or The Fly 2, or all these, or Andy Sidaris and all these people. I mean, you probably don't know me or wouldn't like me. You know what I mean? So, I'd say the thing with Blood Prism the most that I'm proud about is I'm very proud of the work Alicia put into her character. We definitely had a tug of war about the ending of the picture and how that would go. Of course, I'm going to win out in that argument, but the editor and Alicia, the writer of the dialogue and the lead actress, they wanted a different ending, and I said no. And I guess we'll discuss it on the podcast here. I mean, why the fuck not? Spoilers, people. Don't turn it off. Just listen. But it is a bonus feature on the DVD to Blood Prism, which is pretty well done by Mr. Smith, who did my DVD authoring there. But they wanted Lucas to live at the end of the picture.
He's great, by the way. He was in Hellcats, too. He's one of my favorite actors you're working with right now.
What a talented young man. The sky's the limit for him. That is Hunter McKenrick, who plays Lucas in the film. And actually, Matt Smith, who did all the sound, he's a wizard at ADR.
The soundscape's great.
Yeah, and that was completely overhauled before it was released. Matt Smith worked on all of it. Again, Scott Montague, who is doing the editing right now as we speak of Swamp Zombies 2, he came in and did a couple effects for it. It was a real team effort, but and that's the good thing. When people come aboard my stuff, they rally around me and they buy in, and usually when they don't, I don't work with them again. So it's like, you surround yourself with people that are going to care about you, and you go from there. But there's I'd say I'm most proud that we had the nuts to do something different, and I didn't cave to thinking that I'm just a fight scene indie gimmick guy that people want to see kick and punch stuff. Mm-hmm. I wanted to show I don't want to be old school. I don't want to be new school. I want to be all school. And I wanted to do a picture like Blood Prism to try to prove that. And I think on an indie level, I'm pretty proud of what Blood Prism did. And
I never would have guessed the budget was that low. I mean, that's incredible, really.
Yeah.
And the influences you have there, Argento, I mean, it felt to me story-wise closer to Tenebrae, but I can totally see what you're doing with the Suspiria-esque influences, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I love Suspiria. It's my favorite Argento film, and people that know me know I love Suspiria. But actually, in terms of like pure lighting, I feel his best work, and I think he's the best lighter in cinematic history, by the way. It's Inferno, I think, is his best light in a film. I think Inferno is an absolute lighting, absolute masterpiece. Much in Suspiria is too, but I think Inferno is just amazing.
I have that on Blu-ray. Haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to now. Now that you've said that.
And it is a shame that I do not believe, or it was recently done. It is Suspiria not being on Blu-ray, because if any movie needs a Blu-ray, for God's sake, it's that movie.
The new Synapse restoration is phenomenal. It's the best it's ever looked. Tanner and I drove 8 hours to see it on 35mm a couple years ago.
Totally worth it.
Well,
but the Blu-ray was probably more worth it. I'm so happy we have that. It's gorgeous. I've watched it 3 times this year already. It's amazing.
So I mean, there's really different things I'm proud of. I'm very proud of Angel of Reckoning as well. I mean, that was something where that was, again, I was moving away from the all-out action kind of picture, and in something like Angel of Reckoning, it's and again. Take Hellcat's Revenge, for example. The action is kind of dictating the movie kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But in a movie or in a story like Angel of Reckoning, it's really the characters that are kind of driving along, the story. It's not vice versa, like in an action picture or a gore horror type picture or whatever. Mm-hmm. Angel of Reckoning was really maybe my first movie, actually, where the characters were really the driving, point of the picture. And I think it turned a corner for me. I stayed behind the camera for the most part in it, which I really enjoyed. Mm-hmm. But then, to my surprise, I get dozens and dozens and dozens of emails saying, "Len, when are you going back to action pictures? When are you going to go back to being in your movies? We miss you and love you," and all that stuff. And I appreciate those fans that chime in for that. I do. I really do. And for that, I was not going to be in Hellcat's Revenge. I was going to stay behind the camera again. Yes, I was going to stay behind the camera again for Hellcat's Revenge. And John Gross, who played Billy, the slimy guy in Angel and stuff, he was going to be Snake, because he can do it all. He could have put the wig on, and he could have been the evil, weird biker guy kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But then several actors had read the script and stuff ahead of time, and they were like, "Well, you're Snake, right, Len?" And I'm like, "Well, no, I'm going to stay behind the camera," and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, "No, you have to play Snake." And I thought, I was going through a divorce recently and all that kind of stuff, and I thought, no, I'm just going to stay behind the camera. But they talked me into it, and I'm certainly glad they did, because I had a blast playing Snake. I had an absolute blast with that movie. It was a lot of fun. Lisa Neld was great in it. I really felt, again, that was an action picture that wasn't like a karate movie. You know what I mean? So there's fights and stuff in it, but I didn't make it a martial art movie. But for those waiting for the martial art picture, I've waited my whole life to do this, people. It is Challenge of Five Gauntlets. I am filming it this summer. So it is my all-out karate picture. So I hope people follow along on Patreon and other places, my Twitter, that kind of stuff, and kind of follow the picture along. So.
Thank you guys so much for listening to the Horror Boys this week. It was a pleasure having Len on. He was an amazing guest. If you didn't hear, he just scored Leo Fong for Challenge of the Five Gauntlets, so I can't wait to see that. Maybe even more excited for it than Swamp Zombies 2. Please follow him on Patreon. It'll be linked here. It's only $2 a month. That's just a great deal for how much content he's going to be giving us, and the consistent output of movies he has is just baffling to me. What a great guy. He'll be coming back on for Swamp Zombies 2. We'll have a special episode on that. If you guys liked the video format we had this time, it was something new we were trying out just because, we scored Len. We had to make sure we really took full advantage of that. So if you liked that, let us know. If not, hey, we don't have to do it again. Save me some time in editing. Next week, we're watching Intruder, Idle Hands, and Iguana, starring Everett McGill. All 3 movies starting with Eyes, which is something Tanner was really insistent on. So far, we've watched Intruder and Idle Hands, and let me tell you, one of those is great and one isn't. Find out next week. Thank you so much for listening, and really, please support Len on Patreon.